Oh, big fan. Nice, nice. Thank you for being here. You were the first person. Oh, all of a sudden there's 6 people. I'm still in amazement when this happens. I turn on without any announcements, and people, and you all just show up. It's fascinating. I probably need lights. Let's turn on lights. And probably don't need the blinds open. There we go. How y'all doing? Yeah, YouTube does the announcing for me. Yeah, it's amazing. Magic, magic. It's all magic. Hold on, I need I need hoping I would have some glasses cleaner. Oh, there it is. A little chamois. Problem with glasses, I always forget to clean them, and then it's like a whole layer of gunk. Learned a lot with your videos. Was surprised to see this live chat. Yeah, yeah. I like, I these live streams are amazing because well, as I mentioned, people show up, which is so exciting and just exciting, and they're so fun to do, and they require. I feel like maybe I should put more effort into them, but they require pretty little effort, which is great, and then and people watch them even afterwards, which is incredible. I probably should add chapter markers, especially for when somebody asks a question and I start answering the question. So it's I should add chapter markers for that. But off topic. But are you a Nirvana fan? I did not know that Chad Channing is from Bainbridge. Uh, Fan, I don't know. I mean, I definitely remember when Nirvana, first like launched onto the scene, and at the time I was, at the time they were popular, like and still going. I was a fan of like Mother Love Bone and a little bit. I mean, is Soundgarden kind of this similar? It was around the same time, but what were some of the other ones? God, now I forgot. Basically, everything that was on the soundtrack to what was that movie that took place in Queen Anne, Lower Queen Anne? Was it Singles or not Singles? Is that the movie? Um, and oh god, it was so I did not know that. I feel like I know the face. Singles was the movie. Okay. Um, and at that soundtrack, I mean, I remember buying the CD. I probably, I don't know when that was. When was that? Singles movie. Where would I have been at the time? 1992. So I was 22. I think I was still in college, actually. And so I would have bought that CD at Vinyl Fever in Tallahassee, Florida, because I was going to school at Florida State University. And yeah, that long before I even dreamed of this part of the world. I mean, I guess even in high school and junior high, I was reading books by like John Muir, so I knew I was going to be on the West Coast, and that's California mostly. But then when I finally came out here, I first came out. I was on I went on a trip with my girlfriend to San Francisco and drove up to Seattle, and I even took a picture of, my girlfriend took a picture of me in front of the Microsoft sign of all things, back in, that would have been 92, 93, probably 94. And, and even then I didn't know I would be out here. So that would have been, yeah, 94, 95. When did I start at Microsoft? I started at Microsoft. Oh, I finally did start working at Microsoft in 99 to 2004. And I was in Redmond at the time. But, and so that's when I like, oh my God, I'm here. I'm here in Seattle, this place I always dreamed of. And from Seattle, I left Microsoft, went to join a company called Capteris. They moved me down to San Francisco, lived right in the marina, which is amazing. And then they moved me out to Amsterdam. And so I lived in Amsterdam for about a decade, then Boston, then finally back to Seattle and Bainbridge. So it's interesting. Yeah, I'd say there was a great book called Come As You Are. Cool. Well, thank you for you love the content. This is great. I love hearing that. I love it when I had an incredible experience working with the the 7 of us, working on first infra for role-based access control for Kubernetes, and then KeyPair for SSH tools. Both didn't go anywhere, and then finally, pivoting to Ollama back in June, and so from June till January, I was working in that team. Again, the 7 of us, either working from where 2 of them lived in Toronto, or where the other few of the team lived in Palo Alto. It was an amazing experience. Unfortunately, it had to end. But that ending meant that then I could totally focus on the YouTube channel, which is where I am now. And I know I have to import chromadb chroma client equals, but where should I put it? Okay, I'm getting an error trying to run chromadb without Docker. Okay. So with chromadb without Docker, I seem to remember it was just a matter of running the chroma command. Is it just a command? I think it's just a command. And so that's running as a service on your machine. It's not. I mean, it's just an executable, and it spins up. It spins up chroma, which is just basically SQLite with a front, or a plugin for SQLite. But as long as that's running, and then I think port 8000 is the default port for chromadb, then that code should work. I wonder if you're not, so if you're, but then there's another thing. Are you using Python or JavaScript? If you're using anything other than Python, then you have to spin it up yourself. If you're using Python, I think that you can have it in the in your code to spin up the Chroma database. But then as soon as your program ends, that chromadb stops, which should be okay. But yeah, so I guess the first question is, are you doing this in Python or in JavaScript? And I'll wait. Well, while I'm waiting, I'll look at some of the other questions. Oh, you're doing it in Python. Okay. So I know there is when using the Python, you do the, pip install chromadb, and I know that there's a way to get that to spin up. I haven't, or I think I've done it, but it's been a while since I did it, so I don't remember the details. So I don't have an answer for you. But yeah, I don't have an answer. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I've been lucky to have been at, I mean, with Ollama, that was an amazing experience. And then, I mean, being at Microsoft was also an amazing time. You know, I was hired there to do Linux Compete. How do we destroy Linux? That didn't go well. And then was a product manager in SharePoint, and then BizTalk, and then a sales engineer, essentially. Except Microsoft doesn't call them, or didn't call them sales engineers, because in Texas they had a lawsuit that said you can't call these sales engineers because they don't have an engineering degree. And everybody else calls them sales engineers, but Microsoft does not, or at least they didn't. Yeah, so I've been lucky to work at a bunch of cool places. Yeah, super cool. But of all of them, I mean, often in the Ollama team, we often all commented on how this is the most fun we've ever had working anywhere. What are the next developments for Ollama? I don't know. That was a question I could answer in January, well, up until January 5th. But I mean, because at that point, the big thing was going to be Windows. We knew, I think at that time, I don't know if AMD had come out yet, the AMD's support. Maybe it had. It was, yeah, I feel like AMD wasn't yet, and but what are the developments going forward? I don't know. I'm getting less and less in the loop of what's up with Chroma, and I haven't been to any of the meetups since leaving the company. Though I almost went to the last one when a company that was going to be there said, "Hey, can we fly out there for it?" Unfortunately, I couldn't go because I was on the cruise in Alaska. So that's any thoughts on Flowise AI or LangFlow? So I've got a video about agents that I'm like, I just need to finish editing it, and then I'm gonna put it out. It's probably gonna be, plan to delay it and not do it today, but really to get it out tomorrow. And it's basically mostly about crew, and mostly that you don't need crew for most of what crew does. But while doing that, I happened to see a video about Flowise and about some of the agent stuff you can do in there, and that looked pretty nice. I've not spent any time with it, so I have no idea. And then, what was the other one? LangFlow. I know that name, but I don't know why. Oh, is that the LangChain thing? LangFlow. The GUI for LangChain. Yeah, I am not LangChain's biggest fan. Mostly because most people think that they need to use LangChain for even the simplest things, and LangChain offers no benefit until you get really complex. And I think most people go to LangChain first and spend a long time learning about LangChain when they could have just stuck with the Ollama API, or Ollama API and the Ollama libraries for Python and JavaScript, or all the other community libraries that people have created, and just stick with that rather than using LangChain. And that, in fact, that's the argument against using Crew AI, is that you don't really need anything that Crew offers unless you're doing something that a small percentage of all agent workflows are doing. So that video is coming very soon. Like, I should have posted one on Thursday or Friday, and I didn't. And then Monday was a holiday, and we were doing stuff, and then yeah. But anyway, running chroma. Let's see. It'd be great if you could make a series about the basics of AI. Your explanations are so clear, and we could learn a lot. Yeah. I mean, the basics. It's hard to. I mean, it's hard to know what to focus on, and if you have, the basics of AI with Ollama in mind, or are you using LM Studio? Because they all do things a little bit differently, and they rely on some of the basic concepts, and so maybe the series would be more about using GGUF models, which are or GGUF model weights files, and so more focused on that kind of stuff, because that's what all these most of these desktop clients use. Or is it going a little bit further down into CNNs? What's it? Convolutional neural nets or something like that? Are we talking about that level? I don't know. There are so many levels, and there's so much technology that is in so many ideas, important ideas that have that people have learned about or suggested in different papers over, most of a large, it's hard to say where, what percentage of stuff that we're doing now is based on any one paper. A lot of people will point to the Attention is All You Need paper from 2017 about or so, which was, I think, mostly Google that was involved with that. And that was definitely a significant advance, but I think more of what's going on in was from there was another paper in 1991, 92, which is where most of the stuff is based on. Oh, I got an error with I'm using the right. The stream, I go through this all the time. Now the stream's bitrate is lower than the recommended. Okay. Weird. I have a good connection. That's good. So I don't know. Yeah. It'd be good to go over the basic. There's a video I've been wanting to do, which I've been meaning to do since it was one of the first videos I thought would be really interesting to do on my channel, which is trying to understand quantization, because I've done enough presentations at conferences where I talk about here's what quantization is, and I think I finally figured out a good way of explaining it, and so I really would like to do a video that does it. What was fun about it? What was fun about working at Ollama? It's just I remember when I was at Datadog, when we were a small startup, nobody heard of us, yet it felt like a rocket ship that we were just trying to hold on to. And Datadog now is 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people. I don't know how many people it is. And $60 billion company, I think, is their market cap. Whatever the number is, where you add up, multiply number of shares by how much money per share, and it's like tens of billions of dollars. But when I started it, we were just 30 people, trying to get the idea of trying to get people to get excited about monitoring or recording metrics. And that was this rocket ship, and it was a lot of fun. It was anytime you're at a company that's like 30 people, if you find something wrong, the best person to solve the problem is you, because you're the one that cares enough to see the problem. And then it was multiplied. When I left Datadog, when we were 4,000, 5,000 people, about 2.5 years ago to join Infra, which is now Ollama, it was going to a team of 7 people, and so it's even more. That times 1,000 because it was just you are again the best person to solve the problem, and so you could find any problems and solve them. Of course, there were too many problems to solve, so it was just exciting. It's just fun. I think Patrick often would talk about that, and his thing was, he created. I think he was mostly the creator, or at least the longtime maintainer of Ollama Hub, or no, sorry, Docker Hub, and he was excited to take a lot of that code that he'd written for Docker Hub and apply it to a new technology, which was around models, Michael and Jeff were excited to work on another project again. They worked on chromadb for making the first UI for Docker, and they were just excited to work on another project that was gaining a lot of traction. And the fact that it was, after 2 projects that didn't go anywhere, and then finally we have this thing where, number of GitHub stars is just skyrocketing, number of downloads. I mean, I don't know if it's in the 5 or 6 million downloads so far. It's just incredible seeing how many people are so excited about where Ollama is going. So that was what was fun about it. Okay, if I could do one about installing chromadb without Docker. Yeah, I think that's probably a good thing to do, because there are a number of ways of running chromadb, whether using Docker or just running it as a executable, or if you've got Python, running it as part of the whatever the library does. I think that could be interesting. Okay, why am I get a button? I think it would probably be pretty simple. Okay, I'm sorry about the ads. There's ads going to be showing in a few seconds. I thought I turned that off, but I guess I didn't. I thought that AnythingLLM installed a vector database on its own. I didn't think you had to. Did I know that? I want to say that doesn't it already do that? Oh, but if you're not using Docker. So the question above, point of view goal, like about 10 comments above you, Jordan asks, I'm trying to install chromadb in order to integrate with AnythingLLM. And I thought AnythingLLM does that, but it does that in the Docker container. And if you're installing wait, does AnythingLLM install with the Docker container? No, I'm thinking of OpenUI. Oh my God, too many projects. Okay. I should look at that. So Jordan, I agree. It would be a simple video to do. Autofires, love your videos. Thanks. Would love. I have watched I've watched definitely some videos about Rabbit. Is that the video I'm thinking of? Let's see, CoffeeZilla Rabbit. I feel like, oh yeah, those are awesome. Totally a scam. I mean, I wouldn't want to say that publicly because, Rabbit might be watching. But yeah, man, scary stuff. I felt like that. I mean, I kind of felt like this was a scam enough. The Playdate by Panic, which is the same teenage engineering hardware. But anyway. Yeah, amazing. So neutrality and mutualism with AI and robots says, I stumbled on Fabric. I stumbled on Fabric just yesterday. Somebody mentioned it, and I thought it looked really cool. I looked at it a little bit more this morning, and it says it works with Ollama. Yes, I didn't see how. I think I need to. It wasn't obvious. I just need to install it and try it out. Whether it's only using it through the OpenAI API or is it actually using Ollama through the native API. It'd be interesting to see what it's doing. And watched a video about why the guy created it, and it looks really cool. Looking forward to see it when you. Oh yeah, my video about the agents and my dislike of agents. No, I mean I love the agents. In fact, I love it because I watched a video by Coding with Brandon with Coding with Brandon. I think it's Coding with Brandon or Brandon with something. And he did automating his YouTube workflow using Crew AI. And I basically, his version of it takes like 400 lines of code. It's so much writing to fill out all the prompts and the backstory or all the things you have to fill in to just define an agent and the task. And I basically recreated his entire workflow in about 60 lines, just using Ollama and a little bit else, other things, but really just Ollama, and it's great. First. What were we? Oh, okay, yeah. Catching up on these comments. Matt, what about LAM? Large action model with the Rabbit R1 promise, and now it looks like is a fake. Yeah, it's so easy. It's so hard to know. When you look at the founder of Rabbit and the fact that it's the same person that was involved with this Bitcoin-like thing, which seemed to be a bit of a scam, and it's now, is this one definitely a scam, or did they have a great idea and really try to deliver on it? Maybe, I don't know, did they have investors? And then they need to deliver something, and it may not be the ideal, but at least it kind of gets them close. And or was it always planned from the beginning? Was it more like what was that health company that had the machine that was like did all the blood tests all in one thing and turned out to be nothing, turned out to be bogus? Oh God. Theranos. Is it another Theranos where they knew it didn't work? Or yeah, I don't know. I mean, Rabbit, or there's that other one, the Humane Pin, that's just trying to do too much too early. And yeah. Rewind the video to start from the beginning. I really enjoy your content. Good. I think that's the video. Look forward to your content. Cool. AnythingLLM, oh yeah, it has a built-in LanceDB, but I wanted to install Chroma, because I can upload a lot more links at once. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that was the first time I'd really seen anything use LanceDB. That was kind of an interesting choice. Yeah, weird. He had like four different vector databases that were supported, 4 or 5. And they all seem like odd choices, but that's my perspective. Maybe I assume that AnythingLLM started. I'm based on no actual knowledge, but I'm assuming that started as he had some sort of contract project with a company and built this thing, and then the agreement allowed him to kind of resell it or distribute it more widely. Because so many of the features in there feel like enterprise, whether it's like the integration with Confluence, and there were other things that feel the whole was it work groups and the way you organize the conversations, and he has that same thing in the vector database management tool that he made. It has that same kind of concept of the grouping of the way they groups this stuff. It feels enterprisey. Fabric's nice. You have to change the base API for Fabric to point to your Ollama. Okay. The Quantize one. Don't know much about the concept. Agent one sounds interesting as well. Yes, I think it's pretty cool. I'm going to import an entire sitemap, 1,000 links, and scrape all info inside each link. Oh, and have that all go into the chroma. Now, be careful about doing that, because the more information that's in one vector database, it's easy for the model to get confused, or at least for the, if you have, if you point at my site, and you have like content from all sorts of different places, and you bring that all into a vector database, then you do a search, a similarity search, and you find... Yes?
Wait.
Oh, what's that?
It's a ginger.
I got a ginger. Okay. Why do you have the whole bag of gingers?
Oh, I was just carrying them.
Okay. Are we, Oh, be careful.
Oh, yeah, we're leaving soon.
Oh, are we leaving soon? Okay, I wasn't sure. Do you want to go? You do? Okay, I'm gonna finish up here. Okay, can I do that? Can you go back to see Mama?
I thought that side used to be a different color.
There was always blue on that side and green on that side. Okay, go see Mama. And I'll be out in a little bit, okay? Thanks for the gingers. Anyway, I have no idea what I was talking about. Oh yeah, about putting too much information in the vector database. One of the things I really liked about Open Web UI, was the idea of assigning tags, different tags to different types of information. And so you could have, add a bunch of documents that were related to LLMs, and just tag it as LLM, and then upload another document and tag it as electronics, and upload another PDF or another document and tag it as music. And then when you do a search for whatever you want to, whatever your phrase is, and also mention that you're looking at a music-related question, and that way you're not getting results that are, actually about attention and about transformers. And so it's important to be able to, when you do the query, to make sure that the context of the query is looking at the right kinds of documents. Otherwise, you can start getting the wrong kinds of documents, and the model just gets confused and just answers wrong. Yeah, Theranos by Elizabeth Holmes. Another one like that was the whole WeWork stuff. Oof. Feels though open interpreter is much closer to a lamb than rabbits are one. Phony lamb, yeah. Okay. I don't know enough. So many of the features seem niche. Yeah, about Fabric. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I haven't really looked into that one. Jordan says it's Y Combinator. Oh, is AnythingLLM Y Combinator funded? Or is Fabric? Or who is Y Combinator funded? Usually they are... Oh, hi. Okay, time for you to go. Time for you to go inside. Okay, come on, come on. Okay, you gotta go. Come on, let's go back. Go back and see Mama, okay? And I'll be out there in a little bit. I got a ginger. Oh, shade. Okay. Crit.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, okay, bye. Oh, anything LLM is Y Combinator funded. That is interesting. I would not have expected that. Because it definitely doesn't feel like something that is polished enough to come out of that group. Interesting. Rerank model could help. Yep. Heard of Unraid. I mean, I know of Unraid. In fact, who did a video showing Unraid? Was it somebody just recently? One of these, you know, home lab infrastructure kind of home ladders, whether it's YouTubers like Network Chuck or Techno Tim or one of the others. Did one just on switching, the idea of switching from Proxmox to Unraid. I didn't realize that they had a official Ollama app. Official meaning Unraid is supporting it, I guess. That's interesting. Come on. I don't know the context of come on. Okay. Yeah. So I started this stream 38 minutes ago thinking, oh, I got plenty of time. And then I just remembered that we get our CSA every week. So a box of vegetables and stuff and also flowers from a farm up in Indianola, which is, you go up to a little bit away. And she and the farm is having their kind of orientation event tonight, and I've got to go to that. In fact, I've got to drop off my wife. Oh, I gotta go. I gotta go. Techno Tim. Okay, he did that. Cool. I'm so sorry. I got to bolt to go to the CSA thing and drop off my wife for her board meeting. So I gotta go. Thanks for joining me. I didn't do anything that I planned to do, as is usual, but this is always fun. Yeah, I think having my daughter on the outro would be fun. I also am. There are very, very few times in any of the videos that I have that you actually see her face. So that was kind of unusual to see. Pretty careful about not showing her, but there she popped in. Anyway, so thanks so much for being here, and I gotta go. Bye-bye.